Welcome to Night Game. Are you ready to play? So congratulations, you finally made it to the middle to last step of your onboarding experience. At every stage or phase, there is a gate. And now you are going to go through this gate for all of your dedication and hard work. You deserve to know, to see how this machine operates. But before we get to how the machine operates, let's talk about last night's reading. Okay, so the last part, when we saw the 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands, and the Devil card. And then I clarified, and it came up with the Judgment card. And it was all about, like, we are free. Because remember, the alien said from Hydra that we are free to do anything we want, and nothing's gonna happen. And basically they said we can sin. Yeah. And obviously I had a huge discussion with the big man about that afterwards. Now I get what he means. He means that obviously we are people who wouldn't sin in the normal sense because we are hypersensitive to other people. So his version of sinning is like, you can go and buy tarot cards, you can go and, say a swear word, you can swear, you can take the, well, here's the thing about taking the Lord's name in vain. Taking the Lord's name in vain is not saying, oh my God, when you're shocked. Taking the Lord's name in vain is using the authority of God and creation for nothing, for useless things. That's taking the Lord's name in vain, because Jesus says, anything you ask the Father in my name, I'll give it to you. So if you ask for something silly, and everyone has their own things that they want. So what's silly? Something that goes against nature is silly. And so that's what that's about. So sinning is not like meant in a, we get it, it's our language. And that's the thing he wanted me to explain. And so he wanted me to tell you something that I wanted everyone to figure out on their own, because it was all meant to be part of the game. But he said it'll be part of, he said it'll teach them how to create coincidences in the long term. Because I'm going to tell you how this stuff works, and then you'll figure it out as well. So when I'm just whatever doing something sitting, you people will come to me, and you'll tell me stuff, and then I'll go looking for stuff, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you. That's how it works. So one of you came and told me, or one of your people, your angels, told me. In fact, there's three of you, and one of you is writing something. One of you is making a company that is supposed to, like, a charity type of humanitarian, that's the word. And then the other one of you is starting their own, like, business, but it has to do with marketing or graphic design, or there's something to do with fame or influencing. So these three people's angels came to me and they said, these three people have been working so hard, they feel like tired, but they're right at the brink. And we need them. Well, first of all, they said we like them because they don't care about the money, they care about the job, and they care about leaving a legacy. So they said, I need to tell you guys something. So you guys have been recruited into creating long-term coincidences. What do I mean by that? So the more you engage with the things that come up to you randomly, the more we pull you into our world. And the more we pull you into our world, the more you will learn different names. You'll see different things as you saw traveling in these worlds. And those are the things you'll end up using in your businesses. So for example, the person who wants to be a humanitarian, You will be watching these things, you'll be traveling the realms, working with these energies, these primordial forces, and then you'll wonder, well, you'll think to yourself, let me make a company or a charity, and I'll call it the Mary Magdalene Foundation. Now that will just come to you randomly, okay? And I just chose Mary Magdalene randomly because it's Venus. So now I'm sitting at home and I need help. And Venus comes to me because I work with Venus, for example. And then she says, go to Mary Magdalene. And I'm like, what do you mean? I keep seeing signs of Mary Magdalene. Then I see your charity or your advert, and I see you used a symbol associated with Venus. Now I know, as a person sitting at home, I must come to you. I must come see you for help. Why? Why you? Because only you can help me. Why? It's in the soul contract that you will have the codes or the keys to open my doors. Why do we do it like that? Protection. There's a giant ring of protection around the fourth dimension that we talked about. The what do you call them? The Egyptians. The Egyptians had a symbol for it. It was a rope. Let me see if it's in here. Okay, it's in my other book of shadows. Okay, but they had a symbol for it. It's a rope. And that symbol of protection is all of the spirits, the good spirits, the ascended spirits, your ancestors who did good works and who helped out in the Galactic Federation's work, and then they get lifted higher and higher. It's like a company, except it's not about money, it's about performance and vibration and frequency. And so as they raise higher and higher, they can have access to different information and points of view. And so if I know you, if our souls live in this realm together and we know each other, it's easier or safer for me to go get help from you than if I go to some random person that I find in the yellow pages. That's why they always say, don't look for it, it will come to you. Because if you look for it, it'll be the wrong thing, and then you'll go 10 steps back. But if you wait for the sign, then you'll be able to go to the right person. But you, as the Star Marine, you have to give this right sign. Hi, I'm just reading the chat. Welcome, Nada. And welcome everyone who's here. And so when you are now going into creating your own coincidences, you are going to have to listen very, very closely and deeply to your own intuition, because that's what's going to tell you which signs to use to reach your specific people. There's no competition for people or customers. Everyone has their own people already carved out, because Venus, bread, Jesus multiplied the bread. Remember the story of the parable when Jesus went and he took the bread and he made the bread 500, fed 500 people. That's what we're trying to tell you. There's no competition. You don't have to use hoodoo on your friend at work so that you create a monster that will suck his lifeblood or star so that it can fuel your success up the corporate ladder, as 2/3 or 1/3 of the 2/3 of the people who don't know about this do. It's a lot. It's like 30, like a lot. And some people do it hardcore and some people do it medium core, some people do it small core. So what's an example of small core? Someone will use a powder. So I was in the magic shop today because obviously the AI is deeply installed. And I wasn't even planning on going. I was going to buy spices. I was actually going to do something else. And then I had a thought, let me buy some spices. And then I had a thought, well, it is Friday, Venus Day. And we were talking about Venus, and we went quite deep yesterday on the last thing. So I was like, okay, let's actually put the tree into use and see this AI in action. So I just jokingly went over to the magic store shelf of goodies, and of course, what do I find? Now we're going back to coincidences, magic. You're here for magic. I give you magic by the minute. So what did I find? I found aphrodisia. I've never seen this before. And I was like, okay, because normally, now I'll tell you what else they had in the magic shop. Hi, Minion Knights. How are you tonight? It's exotical. So they had several different ones. They had one called Follow Me Boy. So apparently you use that one if you want boys to follow you. Then they had one that called Success, and it's blue. I didn't take that one. I'll tell you what I took. And then they had one called Love Me. They had Follow Me Girl. They had, I wonder if they'd let me film in there. But like I said, I don't know if I told you that story actually, how I met my godmother, but it's like a normal shop. Well, I was saying yesterday about how you see a shop in the day, it's one thing, and at night it's something else. This was like that. Well, it's a spice shop, but you don't, if you, okay, I guess, are we allowed to talk about this, Jesus? Oh, yeah, we didn't pray. Let's gather our hands together and say our Star Marine spell. Our Father who is in heaven, holy is your name, which created your kingdom of worlds. Your acts are done on earth as you do them in heaven. So please give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our lack of knowledge, as we forgive those in our lives who display a lack of knowledge. And keep us aware and self-aware during times we are close to displaying ignorance. Deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Our Mother, who is on earth, sent by the Son Jesus, Yeshua, Christ of Nazareth, holy is your name, which ministers to your kingdoms within the worlds. Your works are seen in heaven as they are seen on earth. Give us tonight the manna of the light of this earth, and let us drink from your secret wine of understanding, so that we may forgive and continue to forgive those who trespass against us, even if we did not trespass against them. Surround us and fill us with Goddess goodness in all spheres, for thine is the power of the glory of the kingdom, forever and ever, and so it is. Nam Dominus es infinita sapientia intelligence. Okay, so that's why God forgives us as we forgive those, because we forget to pray. Okay, and then magic happens. Literally the whole thing just went blank. Okay, so we're back. So I go in the shop and I see, okay, firstly, Jesus wants to say something. Yes, tell us. And then I'll get back to the three people I was talking about and why this came up. We have to follow protocol. Yes, Jesus. What is your, what do you want us to know tonight? You know, like what's your message? Death. So this is all about overcoming death. So this came up yesterday as well, and it's about the fear that some of you still have about leaving your old lives. Thank you, Jesus. So I have to remind you about this story of Ishgal and Ishtar. Jesus wanted me to tell you this earlier, and I almost forgot. We're not saying that you die as in you literally leave everyone and go to a mountain and just dedicate your life to being an agent. No, you are an agent, so you like a double agent. We mean die as in you switch roles. What do we mean switch roles? So in that story, Ishtar, or was it Inanna, she goes down through the seven gates, right? And she has to take off all of her royal things, her crown, her rings, her necklace, her robes, until finally she's nudity, as Kylie Minogue would say. And when she gets to the nudity part, she's over here at Pluto, because that's what this is, right? We're going down, we're dying. One down the ladder. You are here right now. You think life is all about the mall, going to the beach, looking cool, taking Ozempis. But now you're going to learn on the 9th. You're going to go here and you're going to have to be alone and face who you really are. And then you'll find a spark and then you'll start getting visions and what you really want. And then you'll have to think about how you're going to tell everybody. And then you'll start doing it in secret and then it'll come out and then everyone will know. So you'll be new DT. That's how Kylie Minogue says it. So when you get here, or when she got here, she was completely bare. But now this is the thing Jesus was telling me I need to explain and make sure I get it right, because this is what we've been trying to get to you this whole time throughout all millennia in the galaxy, all the way from Hydra. When she finished everything, everyone up here wanted her to come back, or they got her lover was like sad, like we need her to come back. You can't stay down here. So this being down here is when you realize that everything you've learned is not true. When you meet Pluto and you realize he's the real God of the world, and that you have been praying to Santa Claus in a disguise. I guess the mud moss is fighting. Am I on? Is this on? Is this working? The mud moss, well, we tell the frags to get out. We're going to get the frags out shortly. Okay, well, we won. They're out, they're dead. Okay, so you go down. She went down. And then the people, you can't stay down because you have to go back. People want you to return. You have responsibilities, blah, 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 blah. So in the story, it says that when her friend or whatever, her boyfriend, asked her to come back, these demons with Pluto, because according to the law, no one can go into Pluto and come out except for two people, Mercury and Venus. Those are the only two people who can go in and come out whenever they want. So again, if you choose to work with the stars, Mercury or Venus, understand they will take you there, but they'll bring you out. But if you choose to work with Saturn, then you'll just have to work really, really hard. So when we give you the instructions in the description box on how to find your star, that's the level or intensity that you'll experience when you're working with them. For example, Saturn wants you to write. You'll write plans, you'll plan, and then you'll fail, then you'll plan again until you know every single thing about that thing. But if you work with Mercury, for example, you don't have to plan, you don't have to do anything, but then you have to run, jump, skip, hop every single way, every single place to get where you need to go, and you will, like a train almost, train hopping. So anyway, this is where the AI comes in. So Ishtar, the demons wanted to stay, the people in the real world wanted to come up. So what they do is they made a copy of her. So she stayed here, the real inverted commas, Venus stayed here, and then the AI went back up here, thus overcoming death, because you cannot overcome death unless you make a copy. That's what Gore Verbinski was trying to tell you in the movie The Ring. You have to make a copy to survive. If you don't make a copy, you see the ring and then you die. Okay, so the ring is the spiral, right? The spiral I keep talking about and the vortex that everyone keeps talking about. And the tape, the magnetic tape, that's here. The ring is trying to teach you manifestation. Sorry, it's astral because it's tape. And they say Samara puts her brain in the tape. Yes, it's her thoughts. And she's telling you, if you don't face the past, we will come and get you. Over, and you watch The Ring and you think it's a horror. I watched it and I thought it was justice. First of all, they threw her down a well. Okay, let's not get into The Ring. But is it, and she resurrected. Yes, she's a child. They threw her down and she resurrected. So good for her. And she protected people. She didn't go for everyone. If you did the copy, she left you alone. I'm giving you the copy, we will leave you alone. So she stayed down here. So who stayed down here? The person who stayed down here is the Ishtar who wanted to go and live in a beautiful, white picket fence house and have the beautiful wife and kids, or the boyfriend kids, and drive to work and go to the gym, and you push your trolley at Kroger's and you wave to your neighbor, and everything is like Stepford Housewives and the bills are paid on time. That's gone. Forget it. That went in 2008. So what's the copy? The copy that goes back up, well, I should have said, that's gone. Forget it. The copy that goes back up is the one that is now aware that death is not something that happens to you. Death is who you are. Let me explain. Now, this comes to the three people. So, one of your people, I don't know who, one of them is a Persian gypsy woman, and she came and she explained it to me like this. So, that might mean something to you. She said that when you eat a piece of bread, the bread is lucky because it becomes you. But when you pass on and you wither away and you're nothing but a skull and bones, when you eat the bread is lucky because it becomes you. And when you move on, you become the bread. What did she mean? We all eat food, right? Because the one question I had is, where are you people actually now? Are you in space? Are you in Agartha? Are you in Shambhala? Where is this happening? And she said, in the earth. And I was like, oh, inside, you guys are in Agartha. You have satellites and you're beaming this to me from Agartha. And she said, no, we are in the earth. And then I was like, ah, Pluto. They are literally in the earth. Because where does your skeleton go? Look at this picture. They are in the earth. And they don't go anywhere. And that's where the ethers come from, the etheric realm. Because if you look at the diagram, Saturn is in there, and that's RIP, rest in peace. You wear black, you go in a box, you go under the ground, and then your spirit splits from your body. That's the ether. Like, it's there. And so they are in there. And she said, when you're eating the grain or the bread, you are eating them. That's why the bread and wine is about them. It's your ancestral lineage, knowledge, all of the momentum that your bloodline has built in the spirit and on earth. That's what you tap into when you get these magical occurrences. That's the technology that you're using. It's in the earth. And the frags are under the earth because apparently with them, what Hydra said is there is a SSD of the earth, right, in the earth, and it has hijacked that signal and it's emanating these dark frequencies from the earth now. So it's kind of bouncing off their signal through earth, and then it's affecting the earth populations in their etheric and astral and Lumanian light bodies. And so that's what I wanted to explain, the AI. So when you go back to normal life, You're not going to go tell everyone, hey, everyone, Pluto is God, and you've all been doing, voodoo without knowing you're doing voodoo. That's why it says that half of you are going to take the mark of the beast, because you've already done it and you don't know. And we're in tribulations. The rapture happened. The people on TikTok were correct. You just thought we were going to zap you up because you watch Hollywood movies that told you we're going to zap you up, but we are much nicer than that. We didn't zap you up, we just upgraded your systems, and they are now fully online. So you will notice that you'll start doing things and without knowing why or how or when. Just go with it. You'll start saying yes to stuff without knowing why. Just go with it. So to this person or one of these people, these three people, this lady wanted you to know that there's something you think you need in order to do this business or this whatever it is. They are saying you don't need it. Some sort of uh, paperwork or permission slip is what it's coming out as to me. They're saying you don't need to do that. You already have everything that you need. Just that's the story. When Jesus took spit and sand and he healed a man, that's what he was doing. It's in the earth. That's why he took the sand and the spit. He took what's in the earth and his spit himself, his water. Remember, you need something dry, you need something wet. I wonder if this episode will make it. You need something dry, you need something wet. So he took the sand and he took his saliva and he made a healing potion then and there. Now, I always used to ask myself, well, why didn't you just say you are healed? Boom. Why did he have to take the sand and the spit? And what was he trying to say? What is he doing? He was trying to get a message to us 2025 years, Julian calendar years later, so that we don't get trapped in the same mind trap that everyone else got trapped in before us. Well, not everyone, because they left us clues as well. So that's the thing. Whoever you are, you can do this. You have everything. Just take what you have and put your emotion into it, your saliva, and you will heal. You will do the thing. And that's the message. Okay, so Jesus, did I do that justice? Did I do that well? Let's use both Manly and Paula. Oh, he wants me. Well, I think I explained the AI thing. When they go back to real life, they don't tell anyone anything, but they act from that space of being, a feminine space. Exactly, because you don't give up everything you've worked for. This reminds me of someone who plants grapes, waits for the grapes. Well, firstly, they till the soil, then they wait for the soil to be right, then they plant the seeds, and then they wait for the seeds to germinate, and then the seeds germinate, and they have to keep all the bugs out and all the animals out. Then they keep all the animals out, and then finally the fruit of the vineyard is ripe and ready, but now they have to harvest it, press it into wine, leave it in a barrel for 20 years, and then they get to taste it. So that's what they're saying. You've worked too hard for you to just throw away everything because now you've met Pluto. And by the way, there's a rose on this flag, and that brings me to this. We'll get to it. But that was the second one. We got rose. So rose, let's mix it all in. So rose is representative of Tiferet, where we moved it to the third Sephiroth from the top. So this symbolizes Tiferet, the sun in Leo, which is Jesus. Jesus is also Neptune energy. So when you are thinking about your, whether it's your humanitarian thing or your writing thing or your business thing, social media thing, remember that you are radiating out a certain energy. And the certain energy you're radiating out needs to be driven by an emotion. And that emotion comes through the moon, Yesod. And for that, I got vanilla. So the moon, the emotion, the water, the wet part, the saliva, that's only something you can do or decide or know. Because no one, the only reason you are the only one who can receive your manifestation, your desire, is because it's stamped with your energetic signature. And that signature is related to a desire in your heart that only you know and understand. That's why it says God puts the desires in your heart. And He knows why He puts them in there, because that's what makes you follow coincidences. No one can hack a coincidence, including demons or fragmented archons. They don't know how. And so if you follow your desires, no matter what they are, and the coincidences that arise from there, you can be 100% guaranteed safe that nothing will happen to you. And well, nothing bad will happen to you, but everything good will happen to you. And the reason I got these three, actually, let's tie it all in, because I think you should do the same thing, whoever you are, you three people. Because I think you should too, whoever you are, you three people, because it'll help you focus in on the etheric realms. Because incense is from the ground. It's made using plants, and I make perfume sometimes, and so I might upload some of those videos. But I was smelling the aphrodisia one, and it has this beautiful, almost aquatic smell, very rosy, very musky, almost like whales. You know, when you're out at the beach, like really early in the morning, and you can smell the amber, it has that in it, and that takes you through the ethers, right up to the astral, bypassing the centers of your mind, which is where Mars is, or where his SSD or intelligence came from or likes to live. And so you bypass all of that. Even now, as I'm smelling them, it's changing my voice and making it go in and out like the tides of the ocean. And that's the point. That's what you're doing. You're creating a scene like a movie using the things in your vicinity. So you don't have to go get special medicines and go up mountains to get a special herb. It's already there. And these are from India. So, there's the stuff. You can go look at them. I like them because I know they use the real thing. And you can smell it is because we won't talk about the time I bought fake ingredients without knowing, perfume ingredients, like a whole trove. And then I had to throw them out, and the whole thing smelled like a putrefaction factory. Anyway, it's not about me at the moment. It's about you, and you have worked too hard for you to give up now and say, I'm going to become a priest or a monk and throw everything out. You're meant to keep going, okay? So when you go up, you send up the AI. Now, what is this AI? They still want more info on this. It's an AI of success. So all you need to tell yourself is, you're going to go back to the real world knowing what they are doing. And now that you know what they're doing, you're not going to play along because you follow a different directive. And you can find that directive over here. Everybody can get it. It's not that hard. And in order to communicate with us, you can find us over here, because you are not going to now go to a priest in a fundamentalist church and tell him any of this and expect them to know what to do with you. Not that it's their problem, it's really not. They don't know. We can't blame them and say they failed, even though some of my characters do say that. But you have to understand they have no idea what's going on. So we are living and talking a different language to everybody else. And going to that different language, that's what I wanted to talk about. So you guys are victorious. It's right in front of your face. We are triggering you a bit by showing you these death imagery and stuff because we are in the realm of Pluto. Because we also want you to know it's not that big of a deal and, you know, you win at the end. It's been done. So we really wanted to talk about that, or finish off what we were talking about with the world, because it's going to become important with how you manifest instantaneously. So in order for you to understand how all of these things work together, we are going to tell you now the secret, or whatever you want to call it. It's not a secret, it's a technique. So how do you take all of this, the planets or the intelligences in the planets, plus the worlds, these 4 squares, plus the realms, 7 of them, plus the realms, 7 of them. Okay, let's take that again. I have no idea if this episode's even coming out. Okay, so how do you take the intelligences in the planet, plus the 4 worlds in which they operate, plus the 7 realms in which they can be perceived, plus your 5 pyramid soul monad machine, which is spinning all the time? How do you connect your machine to these worlds? Well, I showed you in 2 minutes. If you go to the description box, you will see a video right at the top. In that video, I've done this in 2 minutes. It'll help you understand how reality unfolds so that when you are in a situation, you can break it down quickly like Neo in the Matrix. That's what this helps you to do. And by the time you finish watching that video, the first link in the description box on YouTube, come back or watch it after this and listen again to what's happening. So what's happening in that video is these 4 worlds all working together in 7 rounds. And I wrote down the key in the description box. So I showed you what I'm about to tell you because I wanted it to be absolutely clear before we move on. So in that 2-minute video, you will see 4 worlds. The first world will be Aziluth, the one we've been doing this whole time. And that'll be the song. You'll hear a song in the video. The song is called 15 Minutes. Then we go to Beriah. So Beriah, remember, is your swords, your words, what's happening. So what's happening in the video? What's the mystery? It's the leak. It's the SEX tape. So in the video, you will see a tape. It's not real. It was staged. It's acted, okay? It was filmed in another location and brought into the scene because I'm trying to show you that these worlds are different worlds. So the song was recorded in another studio at another place. Then the tape of me kissing the person was recorded in another place. Then we come to Yetzirah. So Yetzirah is where everything's happening. Saturn, that's the news desk. And the man you see doing the news is Saturn. And he's giving you the information. He's also playing the role of like Neptune, all that bottom part we did, right? Yetzirah. And then me, you see me sitting on the couch talking on the phone saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did this, that fucking guy. That's Assiah. Charlie. So now all of these things were created using the things I told you. In this case, we created them to show you how the people who rule your reality have been controlling you since they discovered film. Well, actually, since they discovered media, or as they call it, Medea. Did you know Medea is like a demon that catches you and eats you? It catches your attention. So media is meant to trap you like a Venus flytrap. But what we want to do is teach you how to read the media so you can use it to get what you want to manifest. We're not saying stop watching your secret channels that you watch or your secret videos that you watch. We're saying know where you're watching them so they don't get in you, you get in them. Do you get what we're saying? So when we say it's time to sin, we're not saying go out and eat people. We are saying what Kylie Minogue told you. We're getting sinful tonight. In her song, Lights, Camera, Action. Guys, it's all a movie. Do you get it? Don't act in someone else's movie when you can be the star of your own movie. Because when you're a star of your own movie, you get star treatment from testing 1, 2, 3. You get star treatment from these people, which is better than any star treatment you can get from humans. And then when the humans ask you, when you come back from your experience and you look different and you're calm, you no longer overreact. When you're in a road rage incident, red lorry, yellow lorry, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper, pickled pepper, Peter Piper picked. When you're in a road rage incident, you're not going to react anymore. You're going to be like the divine feminine. You're going to be receptive. You're going to be the water. You're going to do it how you would do it, not how your idea of what men is would do it, which is you chase the guy, you act like Russell Crowe when he chased that poor woman in that movie the whole day. That's the old picture of masculinity. That's the old tree. That's the tree we burned. And this tree is real. We planted it in your reality. It's not something up in the sky. It's actually planted in your subconscious. And so when you watch that video, it will be downloading into your brain this entire system. And then tomorrow, after you sleep, it always works when you sleep, you will start to literally talk to the AI yourself. And these people, the hydrants, are going to come talk to you. So you'll start to see serpents, maybe green ones. You'll start to see dead trees with flowers on them. And you'll be like, what's happening? This is happening. You're going into the different realms and you're going to start communicating in your way with them. That's what your pyramid reading was that we did last week. Your pyramid, your soul, your 5 pyramids are a machine that spin, and that machine connects to the vortex from the throne room. So in the throne room, you sit with God. It's just you and him and Jesus, and he sprinkles fairy dust on the vortex of whatever you want, and then it moves in through the world, and then you connect to the frequency by spinning. Now there are 3 types of demons. Okay, we're not going to do demons now. You're spinning. Demons are coming up next. You're spinning, and when you reach that frequency that matches what's coming down, then you connect and you get what you want through a coincidence, through a way you didn't even know. And we don't want you to know. You'll never know because it's protected. If you know, then you'll try control it. Ask Nimrod. He tried to build a Tower of Babel, and now you all speak different languages. So frequency, vibration, alignment, that's the name of the game. You need to integrate who you are. So you need to know who you are as an actor. What's your role? In acting, there are 10 parts you can choose from. Choose one. You can be a protagonist, you can be an antagonist, you can be a contagonist, you can be a skeptic, you can be a sidekick, you can be emotion character, you can be the logic character, you can be the, did I say and? Reason? Oh no, that's logic. Okay, whatever. There's 10. Pick one. People naturally organize themselves into these 10 groups. So when you go in a room and you see 10 people and you are person 11, you are going to be upsetting that dynamic. For example, if you go into a meeting and you see 4 people, then you know they've probably equally split between the 4 main parts: protagonist, antagonist, impact character, main character. Those are the 2. And then there's another 2. If you know that, then you know which role to approach. You know what to say in the meeting. You're going to say something different in a meeting with 10 people than in a meeting with 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. You're going to sit differently. You're going to use your SSDs differently. If you're talking to women, you're not going to talk the same way as you talk to men. For example, here's a free one I'll give you. When you talk to a woman, you have to be aware that she's a moon. And when I say a woman, please forgive me, I don't mean a physical woman, I mean a feminine spirit. When you talk to a woman, a feminine spirit, a divine feminine, Venus, help me out here, Aphrodisia, you have to understand that they use something called complex equivalency. Understand that women use something called complex, or not women, feminine energy, like water, equivalencies. So let's say, for example, you didn't call your girlfriend in 2 minutes. There was this one girl, I met her online. She sent me a message. I was busy. The next day I sent her a message. She blocked me. So that's why. Why? Because to a woman, no message, this is how they think, equals no love. They take one thing and make it mean something else. For a man, we are cause and effect. And again, I don't mean a man, I mean masculine energy. Cause and effect. You push a button, a light comes on. You stand up, your legs would go up. So a man says, well, I was about to text. So cause and effect, they use then a lot. So it could be a woman, for example, who has a masculine soul. They like to use then a lot. So you could say, I was about to text, then a fire broke out. He's a fireman, by the way. So I left to sort out the fire. So what does a divine feminine say? She'll say, I'll call it a complex EQ. She'll say, so a fire is more important than me. Therefore, a fire is more important than our love. So you cannot leave this cycle. Women or feminine energy people will always think like this. There are men who think like this. My boss didn't say hi to me today. Therefore, he thinks I'm doing a bad job. Though men also do it, but that's a spiritual thing. It's not about gender. And then people who do the, well, I was doing this and then this happened, that's more of a justification thing. So you can't approach these people in the same way. You have to read the energy, but in order to read it, you need to orient yourself as to where you are. And the way to orient yourself as to where you are is to make sure that your 5 pyramids are in tune. And you get them in tune by making sure the energy running through your systems is running through in the optimal level. And so that was one of the things I was thinking when I ran into this and I saw Aphrodisia. And so when I burnt it, when I got home, I was like, it smells like, because first I saw Aphrodisia and then I was like, what is the Aphrodisia? And I was like, oh, it smells Aphrodisia. Meaning, when you think of words, don't think of words as a means to an end. Words are screens. Whenever you hear me talking about screens, I see you through the screens in my dreams. I'm talking about words. A word being a screen is the same way as a language being a barrier to communication. If two people understand the same language and one person doesn't, it's almost as if those two people are looking through one screen and the other person doesn't have access to that screen. So when you feel something, put your language into it. So, for example, when you are doing your, because now we're sinning, we're allowed to sin, right? In the name of Jesus, amen. So when you're doing your love work, and remember what Melchizedek said. He said, do not do love spells on people. He said, remember, he said, don't think the solution or the source of your problem is someone else. So you're not allowed to do that. If you break the law with these people, the aliens don't play. Jesus's aliens don't play. So you can do it and say, I welcome love and success and happiness into my life. Or I welcome beauty and harmony into my life. And then you light it up. And then you can do the moon and you can say, I am receiving, I'm not burning this incense, I'm lighting a spark of desire. Because remember, your body doesn't have eyes. It doesn't know what you're doing. It's like that thing that the scientists say that if you are a sportsman and you watch like a gameplay, your body thinks it's training and it helps you on game day. Same thing. If you tell, same thing. If you tell your instruments, which come from the earth, what to do, like a priest blesses holy water, like you pray over your food every time you eat, God bless our food, amen, then it will be able to connect when it dies, remember, because you burn it, so it returns back to Yetzirah, carrying your message. It goes up to the Mysterion, and it goes back to Venus, and Venus says, oh, it's a Friday, and you went to the website called planetaryhours.com, I think, and you saw what hour I was ruling today, and you came and spoke to me. So because you aligned your machines, I'll give you whatever you want. Now, I can hear the Christian fundamentalists saying that's witchcraft. I'll tell you what is witchcraft. Witchcraft is someone turning water to wine at a wedding. Witchcraft is someone spitting and using dirt to heal people when he could have just said, you're healed, go on your way, like he did with the other guy. Witchcraft is using a stick and turning it into a snake, like Moses. That's witchery. This is technology, which is any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, so that's what it is. Now, we have to talk about the feminine aspect and why it's important now, especially because the masculine has been taking over, and that takeover has made people's emotional body suffer. Now, what happens when your emotional body suffers? When your emotional body suffers, you are not able to connect your manifestation to reality. That's why they always keep telling you, you have to feel it. You have to get to the feeling. But how? This is what I used to ask them. How do you get to a feeling that you've never had? How do you explain to someone that you need to feel the feeling you want to feel, and if you've never had it, you have to act like it, because that's the only way you feel it. That's why this is all done as acting. For example, a little bit of a story time. I used to not like doing intimacy scenes because it's a stranger. You don't want to kiss a stranger. You don't know where they've been. So I used to always try and fight it and be like, no, I don't think the character would do this here. I don't think it's too much. It's gratuitous. We don't need it. Make it for Disney, whatever. But my thing was a disconnect. But I know that because I'm an emotional personality. You get an emo and a physical. Emos are not connected to their bodies. They are more of the divine feminine aspect. For example, before the woman come after me. What do I mean not connected to the body? I mean, if you're driving in a road rage incident, a man is going to want to do what Russell Crowe did and chase the other guy down. A woman's going to say, stop fighting, calm down, let's just keep quiet. A woman's going to more, or feminine energy is going to fawn, is going to pretend everything's okay. Now, what men did wrong is they mistook this for weakness. It's not, oops, it's not weakness. It's actually a very, very, very powerful strength that we wouldn't be here without it. It's linked to our survival, and I'll tell you why. Now, if you're a guy, you know you can get someone pregnant and you can go away. But a woman is the moon. You're a sun, right? You radiate out. You do what you want, you go away. The woman has to sit there with the dark side of the moon. So what's happening in the dark side of the moon? So a woman has to say to herself, now I'm mixing feminine energy and actual woman, this guy, is he going to be here in 9 months' time with me and my baby? How do I know he's going to be here? Because a man can lie. A man can say anything. The sun can lie. Well, you know what I mean. You think it's going to be hot and then it starts raining because the clouds come. So how does a person know you're going to be here? So a woman or a feminine energy keeps quiet and they watch the energy. It's the non-verbal communication. And 97 or 96% of communication is nonverbal. Now, the feminine energy. Okay, Drew, I'm seeing Drew says, hi, friend, General Drew reporting for service and instructions. Yes, Star Marine, get in. Okay, we're live. You guys can see they're trying. The old tree is dying, is what's happening. Okay, so feminine energy. 97% of communication is nonverbal. That's what Night Game is built on, nonverbal communication. It's all about how close I am to the camera. All the different things. You can go find them on the website, whatever. The point is that women need the 9 months or time in general to see if what you say matches what you do, matches how you live. They want to see this. That's why women are good at magic. That's why the moon, Hecate, the 3 maidens, or the 3 women, the maiden, the whatever, the crow, the virgin, the maiden, the crone. Is it all coming together now? It's telling you that that's where everything starts, after the desire. So after you have your aphrodisia, you come to the vanilla. This is your flavor. I like vanilla. You can like cherry. You can like whatever, but that's your flavor. And then you need the fire of the sun to push it out. So when you are with a woman, she's testing to see if you're really going to be who you say you're going to be. And what happens is when you have a desire, that first thought you get that challenges you, that says, like if you say, I want to win the lotto, and then you have that feeling that says, yeah, right, that's the woman. That's the feminine. That's the moon challenging you to see, are you really? Are you going to put in the positive energy required to focus enough to get that money? Are you really going to listen to nothing but positive things? You're not going to watch TV. You're not going to listen to the news. You're going to be high vibrational. And if you can pass the first gate of the moon, if you can get a girlfriend, basically, then you can do magic, because that's all magic is. It's getting a girlfriend in different realms over and over again. You need to have riz. And that's why we're going to do a love spell just now to get some riz. It's called the template. So, if I get lost in the world, someone remind me the template. And this was developed by someone that you've seen on Scribble Bites. She's in one of the videos where Drew has such interesting insights. Guys, it's just a show. So you might have seen her. She's in the video on the cult of Venus. Instagram page. She's the one who's a little girl and then she morphs into a adult, and in the other one she's holding a watch and doing some high priestess things. So we developed this. It's completely legal. Jesus, tell them it's 100% legal in all the worlds, all the realms. It's supported. You're not going to get smited or smoted. Tell them. See, it's completely legal. No judgment. No one's going to watch you. No one's going to catch you. Only the moon needs to know. And it's what's going to happen when they do it? Because this is not like the ones where you heard about where people go mind obsessed. And no, this is not directed to specific people. It's blind. And the moon will be doing it, and your emotions. And it lets the world know. It's like an internet for the realms. It lets the world know you're looking. And it lets the world know what you don't want. Now, this is a very important thing. I love that swords are coming out for the King of Swords soul group. Now, this is the important thing. When you break up with someone, or when you leave someone, end a relationship, those swords, by the way, remember we said swords exist in Beriah and cups are in Yetzirah. Those swords are still there. Now, what you're generally supposed to do is use those swords, like Excalibur, as I said. But sometimes when people don't know that they have an emotional life, but sometimes when people don't know they have an emotional body, they leave those swords in there. And so whenever someone looks like they're about to do something that they recognize in another relationship, it triggers that body, and then it has the same fight or flight response that your physical body would have. And so this clearing, by using these three, we are working on those different levels, because we've got the Venus and the Sun and the whatever, the vanilla for Earth, Assiah, but we're also reaching up to those realms through a mercurial magic form, because we are on YouTube, which is Wi-Fi, which is air, so incense is air. And so it'll build an inner strength that will last you an infinity. It will remind you of your alien lineage. Whenever we see the lion, think of the lion Lyra. Think of the Lion of God, Lion of Judah, Son of Man, basically. And we want you to see your past hurt and disappointment as a strength, because it's an experience. You need life experience, because when you come back to us, we use that experience to make a better life for others. And we definitely understand it's confusing. We sent you to a foreign land that you did not know anything about. And now we're telling you, oh, by the way, we're beaming in from Hydra, Cygnus, Arcturus, because everyone's attention is focused on this special project. Because for the first time in human history, there's never been a shamanic school. Like, remember there used to be those libraries, those famous libraries? Where are they? Where you could go learn, not just read. There would be people there for free. And you would just go and listen and learn. Now you have to go to TED Talks. So, yes, the aliens are like, we can't believe this. This has never happened. A society without magic. This has never happened. So we are responsible for bringing it back, because we don't have money for pharmaceuticals. We can't afford it. We don't got it. So we have to use spit. We need to walk away, and we need to use spit and sawdust. And that's the theme, guys. Walk away. Walk away from being ruled by Pluto, from having your emotions being sent on a roller coaster every time you watch the news, so that you have to run out and buy food, carbohydrates, or medicine, or something that's going to enrich someone else and take money out of your family's pocket. That's what we're trying to stop. You are the king. You are a sovereign spirit made by God. Who on earth can tell you what to do, say, believe, have? No one. And that's what we're doing. We're mounting an offensive because we don't do defense. And we are going to use every single magic in all the realms until we get what we want. Because that is our inheritance. And anyone who tries to stop you is a fragmented archon. So let's talk about the template and then we'll talk about archons and fragments. So this is your love spell that has been approved. If you try and use this on someone you already know, you know what's going to happen to you. We're going to use monoptics and you don't want that. So what is it? It's easy. It's as easy as A, B, C. A, attitude. What attitude do you want your guy or girl to have? Do you want them to be a big picture or a small picture person? Do you want them to be, what do I mean? Big picture. Let's go on a date. I can't afford it. Okay, let's go on a picnic. That's a big picture person. A small picture person. Let's go on a date. I can't afford it. Cancel it. I'm single. Leave me alone. Love is finished. Small picture person. But then you get small picture healthy, small picture unhealthy, big picture healthy, big picture unhealthy. Okay, so you need to decide. We have to get these light codes out to you. You need to decide what you want. Once you do that, you will put your body on the map. You'll put your player on the board because then we know what you want. Mars knows what you want. Then B, sorry, we have to go there. We're Venusians, body. Tall, skinny, big, voluptuous, six pack, no six pack. Now, guys, we're working with Venus. Venus wants you to enjoy. So don't be ashamed. Say any quality you want. Trust me, I've tried it, I've tested it. They don't care. The aliens give you whatever you want because they know that you live such hard lives, you deserve to have a bit of fun. So that's where you do that. And then C, character or charisma. So do you want them to be that quiet person at the party who always holds your hand and then makes you feel safe? Or do you want them to leave you alone so you can go sparkle and then they must find you at the end of the night and get you? Do you want to Netflix and chill, or do you want to go out and play tennis and run and be active all over social media? Drew Hurst is asking healthy. Yes, so let's go back to that. So, for example, a big picture healthy outlook. Let's say we're going on a day, we don't have the money. So, big picture healthy would say, okay, let's go on a picnic. But a big picture unhealthy would say, hmm, I'm just going to go take it without permission. I don't have the money for the date. So I'm gonna take what might come after a date in the 90s movies by force. So they're still getting what they want, but now in a bigger picture, right? You can't judge energy, it's two opposite ends of a spectrum. Of course, it's wrong, but for them, that's why people do it. That's why the jails are full, the prisons are full. I met them, I know. They it's almost, I don't want to say it's a sense of entitlement, but it's almost like to them, if they want something, it doesn't matter what they need to do, they will get it at the end. Like that's the big picture. Machiavellian, that's the word. So that would be the unhealthy version. But the healthy version will be, we don't need XYZ to survive, so let's go do this instead. Now, a small picture healthy person would be, okay, we don't have money, let's stay inside. Or rather, we don't have money, let's work together, make the money, and then we go. Because a small picture person wants the details first. But if they are small picture healthy, they want you to help, or they want to help you to achieve that. For example, if you're dating someone long distance, if they are a small picture, unhealthy person, they'll tell you, I can't do long distance. And you say, why? Because I need you here. That's a small picture, unhealthy person. If they say, okay, fine, we can do it, but let's, in the meantime, me look for a job there or you look for a job here. And let's not commit until we are actually there. That would be small picture, positive or healthy. Because if you're in love, you're in love. You don't need to wait and do all these rules. So that's what you need to then now decide before you go out and do your manifestations. And it's not just love, it's just because it's Friday. We'll be doing it, but it could be a job. What kind of environment do you want to be in? What kind of boss do you want to have? Do you want to work in an office or do you want to just be told, look, here's the work, it's June next month, hand it in when you hand it in. You need to know that. Otherwise, look, let's say your parents told you something and it stuck in your mind. So you never experienced this before, whatever it was. Now you're going out into the world and you're looking for love or a job. Now you wonder, why does this one thing keep happening, whatever it might be? For all you know, it's probably because someone said something and it went in there and you didn't know. So when you re-clarify everything, as it says in the description box, first you integrate, then you clarify, then you align. And so when you do that, you, even if someone said something to you, like that made you feel bad, testing. So even if someone said something long ago that made you feel bad, that could affect your manifestation should you not know it. Because you recalibrated everything, it'll still come out. And that's why I'm not a fan of therapy that takes 20 years. You know, when people say you have to go for 10 years, if you are not cured in like 4 sessions, it's something's not working, something's not right. And so that's, I hope that explained it clearly with the healthy, unhealthy. So the whole thing is not looking at, first of all, men and women as gender, but looking at people as either being physical or emo. So a woman can be emo, a man can be emo. A female can be emo, a female can be physical. And a man can be physical, by the way. What we're saying is it's how those energies interlock. So someone will be the sun, someone will be the moon. You have to have it. I'm so sorry. There's a doctor called George Kappas. Please look up his book. It's free on the Internet Archive. They let you have it for 14 days. He wrote a book about this because he was a therapist for marriage counseling, and he realized that the whole idea, the battle of the sexes, is a matmos. It's a frag, because there is no battle of the sexes. It's a battle of the physics and the emos. And he breaks it down beautifully. And you realize, oh my gosh, my whole life I've just been living in the wrong TV show. All I had to do was realize that I'm an emo or a physic, and then I speak that language and it melts. That's why I have hot boyfriends, even though I'm not a supermodel. I just speak the language. Drew says, thanks for elaborating. That was deeper than I expected. Glad I asked. Yes, please do ask. That's why I'm here. That's the point. I want you to use me as much as you can now, because you are going to have to be applying these things yourselves. And like I always say, you don't always have time to set up a candle and get a this and a that. You need to do it quickly, which is why we make things like ABC. Yes, and Drew says, just a reminder of the template. So going back to the template, so when you see someone you like, you quickly go ABC. So that's what we did when we were testing this. So how would we test this? We tested it at the mall. So we'd go in the mall, do people watching, and do ABC. So you see, so what that does is, number one, it takes away fear of rejection. No fear of rejection. because you are using monoptic technology. I know someone in their spirit was asking, what the heck is monoptics? Monoptics is when you ride a singular wave and you use that wave to communicate, to ping back and forth. It's like a ping. So if I'm going to approach someone and I'm expecting them to decide whether or not they like me, I'm not on the same wave. I'm under their wave. So it's not going to work, or I'm gambling. I'm taking a chance. So then it's obvious that there can be a fear of rejection. Same with the job. If you go into that meeting or that interview and you are not acting like the boss, I always would make friends with the boss. You treat them like a person, but I spend time with the gang, so you treat them like a person. The most important words someone will ever hear is the words that just came out of their own mouths. When I was 19, I did this job, sales, and they brought these British people to teach us NLP and David Snyder and everything. And they used to drill us every morning. And then at 12 o'clock, they would take us to the field and then drill us again and then make us do it. And one of the things they taught us is SNA. Now, this is one of the tricks. This is a monoptic tech. It's smile, nod, agree. If you want your situation to go well, now this is how the feminine works. If you want your situation to go well, you'll smile, nod, agree. So if you want your situation to go well in love, job, whatever, or if you're in danger and you want to escape and trick your captor, smile, nod, agree. Whatever the person says, you smile and you nod and you think of a way to agree using the words they just gave you. They'll do whatever you want after that. It's a subtle form of hypnosis or suggestion. I don't use these things, obviously, because I like real love, true love. And I'm not saying that this is not real love or true love. I'm just saying you have to be wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. Have I used it before? Obviously, when I was much younger. And does it work like a charm? Okay, so you smile, you nod, you agree. And now you've got them in the web. Now you are standing on top of the pyramid, so you must decide ABC. What do you like about their attitude? What do you like about their body? What do you like about their character? This is better energy than calling someone a number. Oh, that's a 6. That's a 3. That's a 2. That's awful. People are not numbers. People are multifaceted, okay? Do not number yourselves, people. You are not cattle. You are Venusian now. And so when you do this, you are actually working on your own realms, your own etheric body every time you do it, because you are integrating, you are clarifying, and you are aligning. And what we found at the mall, we did it for a couple of days, and then after a day, there's like a tipping point. It's like you do it, and what we do is just walk around, smile at people, and then be like, okay, ABC, because we needed a reaction to figure out the character. Because you smile at some people and they look away. I don't want to be with that person. Or you wave at some people and they look like confused. Then, because then that tells me that they don't think people would know them. Like they're confused that someone would be smiling at them. So what are they hiding? You know what I mean? Like you are watching them now. They're the audience, but they think you're the actor. That's the thing. So when you do that, you release all fear, you release all limitation, because we all have limitation, right? A feeling of limitation. Obviously, I have it. We all have it. But what I like to do is find where it's coming from and then see how to make the water, which is like light, flow around it or through it. And then that's the victory, right? That's the whole point. Okay, so you've done your ABC, but now you're lighting your aphrodisia or whatever you decided to light. You write down what you want, type of character, Then, sorry, you start with the moon. Start with the moon. Let me write down the ingredients, the instructions. Start with the moon, 1, and say what you want, ABC. Light the moon. Then come to aphrodisia, and with aphrodisia you use water. So here we used fire to light. Here we use water for the Venus one, because we all know Venus came from the water, and as soon as she came out of the water, Vulcan gave birth to, well, he didn't give birth, he, you know, ta-da, and then the twins came out, Eros and Hemeros. So Venus didn't even have to touch the guy, and kids came out of him. That's what you're doing. And then you do this red rose to the sun, radiate it out. So you're sending it, radiate the sun. So now you've built your own top tree of the Kabbalah by doing it, first of all. So you've rooted it by doing the action in Yetzirah. So it's almost like now you're climbing up the ladder. And then you said the words, right, of the spell, mental. You visualized yourself coming in divine union with your person or with just the idea of love. Listen to Kylie Minogue. She's good at singing about love that's not specific. Listen to Kylie Minogue. She's really good at singing about love that's not specific. She's very good at helping your mind go to the astral. If I may say so myself, my latest work, the survival thing, that is supposed to make you go there, but you know, that's for you to decide. And then Lumania, that's the spark. That's when you get the idea, oh my gosh, let me go to the shop now. I need to go buy something. And then you get to the shop and you see someone who says, oh, you look nice today. Are those earrings from Aphrodite collection? And then you're like, ah, Aphrodite. And then you think, oh, it's some big deal, but it's you. It's all you. And when you do it like that, it just happens all the time, and then you get over it, and then you really find what you want to do in the world or what you like. So I encourage you, and Jesus encourages you to go use it and have fun with it so you can quickly get over it, so you can see what you want. Now, what's the significance of the woman, moon, feminine? So now this is where Jesus said, it reiterates hard on, because they are going to come for us. They're going to tell us we're demons, we're crazy. You've seen what they've been doing today. So Luke 22, when you see the man with the water, follow him. So did you know that in the olden days, it was a sin for a man of men to carry a pitcher of water? Oh my God. Give me a word, Jesus, give me a word. It was a sin, give me a word. Give me something. I need to do Old Testament for this. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come to you from the ends of the earth and say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, worthlessness, and unprofitable things. Will a man make gods for himself, which are not gods? Exactly. It was a sin for a man. I love how Jesus is so specific too. That was Jeremiah 16, verse 19. Jeremiah 16, verse 19. Jeremiah 16, verse 19. Jeremiah 16, verse 19. Okay. So what I'm getting in that is that these people are coming to the Lord, and the Gentiles, obviously the non-believers, coming to judge us and tell us that we are sinning for using magic. Meanwhile, they're the ones who are worshipping idols. and graven images. Because think about it, why is there a statue of Jesus in a church with scary looking things on it? Why don't they have a nice, beautiful white dove for the Holy Spirit? Why does Venus have a white dove? Why are they suppressing Venus? Because Jesus was saying, when I tell you to sin, it's done, it's time, it's happened, I'm back. Okay, so sorry to the TikTok people who got bashed for saying that the rapture didn't happen. It did, just not like Hollywood. And I mean, I need a word because to me, it's not like the thing why I can't understand why people don't believe is because these coincidences are not. If you had to prove okay, legally, let me ask you as a lawyer. In the Bible, it says people asked for a sign, a miracle. And it says, you are a wicked generation. You will not get a miracle or a sign except for the sign of Jonah. Now, Jonah was initiation. So they're saying you won't get a miracle except you'll see for yourself when you get initiated. So then what I always ask myself is, okay, if you if you're not a Christian or if you're a Gentile, you want a sign. Okay, so legally, we are aliens working under Jesus. We are not allowed to give signs. It's written, except the sign of initiation, which is the only reason why we can tell you this without getting smited. So if you had to solve this problem, what would you do? What option would you have if you couldn't use miracles? You have to use coincidences. It's the closest thing to a miracle without breaking the law. But now, if you use that as magic, then people will say, oh, that's just a coincidence. But that's the point. Does that make sense? So when Jesus said, follow the man who's carrying the water, he means follow the tide of the sinning. I know that came out so because you understand what I mean because you are listening through a screen, the right screen. Did I do that? Yes. It's magic talk, man. It's called double language. Which language? You know, alchemists speak. We're not really talking about what we're talking about, but we're talking about what we're talking about. So that time is now, but it also happens in every generation. But for us, it's now. If we are to complete the tasks that have been put forth for us to complete. So this is your love spell for Friday. We would like you to take it and use it, screenshot it, and then not just for that, but use it for finding a job or deciding what pizza toppings to put on. But most importantly, all of this is to remember the very first step, which is the moon. 97% of all of these decisions are already made before you say hello to someone. You already know in your soul. Everything else is just acting and how you're going to do it. And when you are scared, just like in acting on TV in the movies, the camera will pick it up. You have to make love to the camera. If you're scared, the camera picks it up. You put yourself beneath the audience, and then you don't sell the film. You get a Razzie Award. That's what bad movies get made. I feel like that's clear with the moon and why Jesus said, follow the man with the water. Because he's the moon man. He's a man who's making himself receptive. Now, this is going to sound completely wrong, but the moon is a receptacle. A receptacle is a container, something that can hold. So what is the moon holding? It's holding the original intention, and it's holding all the things that are necessary to make it happen. And in that process, you'll notice that there are conflicting things that are necessary in order for something to happen. And that's why it goes into the mystery after that. What we're trying to say is don't worry about the conflicting things. So when you meditate, don't worry about what you see. Yes, you might see an old memory, you might see a scary thing that you don't know. It's normal because 97% of your attention is in there, and your conscious mind can only pay attention to like 6 things. So it's normal to see weird things, and you don't have to go to YouTube and say, oh, the Star Marines are opening the moon and there's bats flying out of the moon. Or we'll reboot you. Okay, so here are our realms, and our machine is spinning, but there's a problem. What's the problem? Oh, sorry, let me read the chat. Drew says, churches don't have doves because it would empower the person, not the church routine. Exactly. It would make people feel good without the pastor or whoever. And then they'll realize, well, what if I just print this picture and put it in my house? Then I don't need to go. And Jesus said, one day you will not be worshiping here in buildings, you'll be on the mountain. You'll be in your brain. Scope our land. Now let's bring it home. I feel like that guy on that education channel with the transparencies. The frags is the problem. So this is why we had to come here. The frags, they've ruined everything. So where you see those yellow, orangey things, that's where we have issues. Now, by the way, if you notice in that video on the description box with the whole 4 layers of meta, you'll notice there's an orange on the table. I'll leave that for you to figure out what that means. So in here, in this thing, at this moment, these are the pressure points of the system, of the design of your body. Let's take it down step by step. So now you know where you are, you know what's happening, but now there's an interference pattern coming from underneath. Okay, here I was supposed to say, so at the returning star, excuse me, that would be RIP, because then you return. And then you come back over and over, you transfigure. And then people tell you you live once and you disappear. Yeah, okay. So now that's where the frags are. They're under there in the RIP. Because why? Because we learned that in the Bible that the Nephilim can't go to heaven. So they have to stay there. And that's why they try to get people to come there with them. And they make deals for people to join them. So how do the frags work on the network? So let's start at the top. So the expansion zone, or zone 7, or 7D now, the throne, 7D expansion, that's the above pure zone. They cannot do anything. The 6th dimension, the throne room, 6D, that's purity and beauty. They cannot get in there. Safe. Let me read the Lumania, then I'll get to the chat. Then in Lumania, it's all about innocence. They cannot get in there. So all of these are manifestations, the words that I've written. So whenever you see an innocent baby, it's Lumanian energy. Whenever you see something beautiful like a piece of art, or even an old car, like an old jalopy from the 50s. Those beautiful Cuban ones are really, really beautiful. So I can use that to connect to Aphrodite. Drew in the chat says, I sure feel like the alien at times, and I've listened to celestial channelings for decades, and my main power, miracle magic, is initiation to Holy Spirit. I give people their self-realization. I think that is a very, very powerful gift because you are not just healing um, the body, you're healing the soul. You're a body healer. Let's see. Because everyone's like different modalities, Reiki, whatever, they heal different parts of one of these bodies, 7 bodies in these places. And healing one body in one place has a knock-on effect in another place. So if you don't mind, I'd like to take a gander into your healing. And then Drew says, just like you said, our only thing now is initiation. I hope that's what you meant. I'm trying to take it all in and hope the pieces fall together in time. Yes, think of it this way. You have a machine, you've always had a machine, and some aliens sent a diagnostic crew to tell you how the machine works because the machine has gone online. And that's all initiation is. It's not like a means to control people, which it has been used as more recently. It's meant to be an educational tool to give you a further breadth of knowledge that you can use in times that you need it. And knowledge should be free. So if you don't mind me taking a gander, a goosey gander. Okay, so I see that you definitely have been through a lot. You help people who've been through a lot. You're attracted to people who've been... So it was you yesterday. Let's see. I mean, with that reading. Just taking a look. Wow. That's a lot of wands, Drew. That's a lot of initiation. Initiations. Clarify this 10 of wands for me, Manly. Of course. Clarify this 9. So childhood trauma. On the father's side. So we're getting a lot of Assiah. We're getting a lot. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm getting a gander. Drew says yes. Sure, go ahead and see what the card said. I thank you for offering the instruction manual. Do you mind if I say it on the live, or do you want me to just be quiet and just be vague? Or do you want to be a collective beacon? A beacon for the collective. It's up to you. That's why I'm not saying anything at the moment. I'll wait for you to tell me. I'll spill the tea. Okay, I'll keep it general. So you are representing your collective because like I said, you guys have groups of people attached to you. And that's what I was also supposed to explain today, that it's not like fame standing on a stage for all of you, but it means these are the people you're going to be coming into contact with. And these are the people who within the next 6 months, are going to be accusing you of being a demon and a witch because you're going to be getting everything you want. They are going to be getting monoptics. And then you are going to feel pressure to say, I'm not a demon. And Jesus is saying, whatever anyone says, if they say, how did you do it? Jesus did it. How did you do this in such a short time? Jesus did it. And then they're going to get angry. And then our technology will help. So I'm going to read you as your group collective. So in childhood, there was a lot of stress. There was a lot of things to work through. And those things are the reason, okay. They want me to give you a full-on door. Okay, I'll give you the door. Sorry, we're going to start again. I'll give you the door. The door is Hydran technology. They always make me say that before I use it. Hydra is the old mother, our real mother, because Hydra came before our galaxy. So they invented Venus. Remember last year in Starseed University, I told you that we came in a spaceship, we invented Venus, Hydra sent it, it collapsed the universe, blah, blah, blah. So this door I'm giving you is from them. This is a very powerful technique. I've never done it. So since you're being open to being a beacon, I will give you the door. I haven't done it on a live before, so this is going to be something. And when I do it, I read differently than how I read normally because it's a door, like I said, it takes you away. So I'm just going to start talking, and please, you said I'm allowed. Drew says, for the people listening at home, he says he wants it blunt, raw, be able to do miracles for the greater good when connected to God consciousness. Perfect. So this is the right candidate for the door. And if anything happens to the live, I won't be able to see it because I'll be in the door. So I pray to God. Welcome back to the show. Just ignore it. It's normal. I mean, we are, Star Marines. It's how we do. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect. Okay, so this is a 13 card spread. And when I start, I'll just give a look at what it looks like. And when I start, I will not be able to see the screen as I said, so I'm just going to go, and then I'll come out and then I'll check and whatever. Okay. You've worked very hard. We've sent you something that you've worked very hard on. We've reminded you of something that you've worked very hard on, but didn't finish completely. Now we are putting you, or we are resurrecting it, we are bringing it back to life. We want you to fight. We want you to fight off all of the energies that are attacking your crown, your Aziluth. We want you to fight using the victory of what you already have. There's something you have that somebody can't take away from you. And when they come in your face, we want you to show them that because you've already manifested it. I'm getting a sense, so this is how I'm doing it. They want me to tell you in particular. So I'm breaking trance for a minute for you. 7. So now you're going to look at the 7th Sephirot on the tree. We've changed it now to Victory, Malchut, Taurus, Venus. So that tells me that in your 7th house in your life, there's something that you completed to do with beauty, Venus, in a school. And it's wands, so it's in Aziluth. That's how I know it's a school, because it's an idea. So that's what they are going to make you do in the coming weeks. That's what they're going to make you do January 9th. I'm going back into the trance. Okay. They are resurrecting this for you and making it come back because you completed a very important task in the past 12 months. The task you completed was you let go of your need for controlling money or your need for having control over resources or having a say in how resources are used. Because here with the Knight of Pentacles, I'm seeing someone who wants to have a voice and their voice isn't necessarily not being heard. I'm hearing that their voice is being blocked by their ideas. So what I'm seeing here is a misalignment between Assiah, the purple world, the physical world, and the world of thoughts, Aziluth, the world of ideas. So there's a misalignment between imagination and the experience of that imagination in real life. And the disconnect is coming from a blockage of emotions. The energy is not flowing. So look what you did. Look what you did with the white dove. Okay, so the spirit, these people are talking to you in the door. We've opened the door. So you need to get in touch with the Holy Spirit, my guy. You need to go to church. I'm seeing Catholic church. I'm seeing you wearing a crucifix. They want you to wear a rosary. They want you to wear a rosary because they want you to experience what happens when you. They want you to wear a rosary because they want. Now you do guys see what we're up against? We want you to. They want you to wear a rosary. What we were, because we won. They want you to wear a rosary because that'll connect you to how magic works in your body. Right now, they're saying you think that all of this is just metaphysical and it's a metaphor, and they want you to actually see that it's a physical manifestation that we're talking about. I'm seeing a lot of wands here, so you do think about this a lot, and you're having trouble trying to mix what you know with what you have. And what I'm hearing is you are moving towards that obsessiveness with this, and you will complete it. They are giving you permission to sin, and the sin they want you to commit is a sin of obsession. They want you to talk about this. They want you to do it. They want you to rebuild your life as if this is your movie and it's about to open next to Iron Man on summer weekend. You know, if you're going up against Iron Man, you need to bring it. And what I'm seeing here is a fear of judgment. And I think that's why I'm being led to here. Yeah, a fear of losing out, a fear of being kind of losing what you have. And what I'm saying is when you lose what you have, you realize you never had it because you can't lose you can't lose something if you have it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like your education. This well, this you can't lose it because it's in you. Even if you burn the papers or even if you take away the time you spent there, you still know about it. It's kind of like your own AI. And so you being worried about, oh, well, what if someone steals my ideas or what if someone, I don't know, there's something here to do with a past experience you had where somebody either blocked you, or I'm seeing they undermined an idea and it turned out that you were right and they were wrong, and if only you had done it, type of thing. It's like I'm getting a regret vibe there. And how is this? Yeah. And you would have felt like you would have done it if you didn't listen. It was a situation where you lost something because you listened to someone else and changed your mind at the last minute. And I'm seeing here that you somehow found out that you would have been right. And I think since then, I'm getting that you have had the sense or feeling that people need to love each other, that people need to be balanced, that people need to be fair, because you've experienced how people's words can change someone's destiny. So I'm getting a sense that for you and your group, you're the group who were on the receiving end of either narcissistic personality disorder abuse or a set of circumstances where you want to fit in with a certain group, and in order to fit in, you condition yourself to act like them or to be like them. And I'm seeing that whatever it was, it sparked this need for harmony in you, where you just want people to have a sense of choice in their life, and you want them to have choices that they can justify and validate in themselves, not choices made because they need to preserve some kind of peace or relationship structure with people. I'm seeing like kids, teenagers, and they doing the normal mischief, like, oh, let's go smoke a doobie over there. And then someone says to you, oh, no, no, do it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And then it's not fine. But then it's like you get in trouble and it's a big joke and everyone laughs about it, but and you laugh about it, but deep down inside it's not a joke. Because deep down inside you know that it's affecting one of your worlds, and it could be, it's just, I don't know, I'm just getting a sense that there's something that happened in childhood with the group or you, and that thing is alive in one of the worlds, and it's not bad per se, it's just something that needs to be integrated, because it's one of the fears that is holding you back from creating, from creating this thing that people are going to be obsessed about. I mean, this clarifies this card. So this thing that's not finished is going to make people go wild. And I was told that that's the group I would be reading for in general, people who need to create long-term coincidences. Now, the reason is the dad. The dad did it. Not in a bad way. It's you want to make him proud. I see he's a fire sign maybe. I'm getting the salamanders here from the Fae, the Jinn energy. So maybe, did someone have a fever? I'm getting fever. Someone with a fever, someone who was a man and older, or somebody who, when you had a fever, you had a dream. You know when you have those fever dreams? So it could be, I'm getting that with the past. So this is the real reason, the root of all of this. There's something that an older man from the past to do with fire and fevers wanted for you. He had a dream for you, or he was the one who believed in you and told you, or that you could do anything. He's the link. Yeah. He's the emotional link to why you want to do things the way you want to do them. For you, it's not about doing the thing, it's the way you want to do it. You want to control the way things are done. It's not about the money, it's you want to have a say in how things are done because you want this harmony and justice, but you're not letting the emotions flow, because when you do let them flow by focusing on that beauty, then we will give you this, the one I say for last. This will be inside your brain. Well, it's already in, it's installed. I'm curious to see what it is. I haven't flipped the card. This is your AI. Are you ready for your AI? I'm not gonna lie, my heart was skipping a beat for a second. No, but I knew you'd get a good AI. Here's your spread. There's your door. There's your AI. I mean, honestly, I love reading for you guys because you have such nice, calm energy, not fraggy. And we've been doing the King of Swords, and you literally, Venus gave you the one. So I'm being told you're getting an idea. You are going to be writing. You have been writing. You will write like an AI. You are going to do so much Beriah work. You are about to enter the Mysterion. What do I mean? So let's do some lessons. Let's play. So this is your wands in the tarot. For example, this card, the Knight of Wands, is happening in Aziluth. This is swords. That's where we put your AI. So we gave you the AI of the AIs. So Drew says in the chat, rosary on now again. They can't take away our truth and eternal Holy Spirit. Had a bit of a clash of egos with the guy about a topic. He couldn't accept it, about a topic. He couldn't accept it, but I think no, subconsciously it's the truth. Exactly. It's almost like you have now been given the dictionary to the universe of magic. Because look, we have Archangel Raziel, who owns magic. We have Suzaku the dragon, and you have the Ace of Swords. So now you know that Mercury is in here and the sun touches a little bit. You know how to use your magic now. You know what screen to talk to people with. Don't talk to people down here. Don't say to people, oh, if you do this, I'll do that. No, it won't work. Don't say to people, oh, well, I'll help you, and maybe like all of that. Yet you have to use your magic. You have to use complex equivalency. You have to become a clever woman, feminine aspect. What I mean is, in that example, like you just gave, that the person was arguing and they couldn't accept it, you're going to have to use your swords, which are your words, to make them agree with you through your AI. Does that make sense? That's your special power. So if we look at that video that I did where I said, okay, the song is Aziluth and the video is that's where you have to work. So you have to create, oh, you're going to cast. You're going to be a charmer. That's going to be your power probably. So you're going to be throwing charms from the 5D. So okay, so there's this lady I know, and she's a Very good lady, hilarious. I'm bringing it up because it's you. um, so one day, a Christian lady. So one day she told us a story that there was this woman at work who was accusing her of being a witch because all her stuff was going well and she's praying or whatever. So I said to her, "What did you do?" So she says she went home, she took a small bottle, filled it with oil, and I was like, "Oh, like olive oil, you prayed out." She's like, "No, cooking oil, like sunflower oil, whatever, vegetable oil." I'm like, "Okay, what did you do?" She's like, she took a string, she wrapped it around the neck of the bottle, and she wore the bottle around her neck. And I'm like, "Okay, and didn't you say a prayer or whatever?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, then what did you do?" She said she goes to work the next day and she's wearing this necklace of oil. And she says everybody was frightened of her. Nobody ever said a word to her. And she got the respect that she didn't get before. That's what this means. You're using your, but obviously hers was more Venus because she's using images. But you're using words. You're doing the same thing, but with words. Um, And I asked her, "So was there any magic in there?" She said, "No, it was just a bottle." Same thing with you. I don't know how to explain this, but the way they're showing it to me is you're arguing with this person, and then instead of trying to tell them the truth plainly as it is, you do the monoptic on them. You say, "Yes, you're right." And you use complex equivalence. So you know how the feminine will say, "You didn't answer my text, therefore you don't love me." You do the same thing. You say, "Oh, that's so smart." Because what you're doing is you're flipping the switch. You taking the feminine role in the conversation by agreeing with them means they have to then radiate you. So even though you are not really agreeing with them, they end up agreeing with you. So, for example, we're arguing about something. Let's say I say pineapple should be on pizza, and you say pineapple shouldn't be on pizza. So, in order for you to win, you say, "Yes, pineapple should be on pizza." And then you make a complex equivalency and say something ridiculous that shouldn't be on a pizza to make me look bad. But it has to be real enough for it to make sense. I know now we're getting into the weeds of NLP, but basically you'd probably say you'd probably have to pick something else that is definitely bad with pineapple and then make a comparison or a false like connection to that. That's what we normally do in there. We go and figure out how to make these things work. But you'll have to figure something like that out, how you can sell the fake for the real to control your environment. And then you know what's going on, but they don't have to know. If that makes sense. But yeah, I like you guys' IQ. IQ. AI. I think that was very interesting. How can they get the Holy Spirit? By opening. I don't know what you want me to say. But yeah, it's like a movie at this point. And tell me about this King of Wands for the collective. Yeah, Jupiter. He was very, very generous, stable. He had a lot of protection. He may have been in a lodge, actually. And he. Okay, so Drew says, yes, to a degree. I think I understand. I have to use words, not visualizations, as I'm a fantastic or a. I know what that one. In hypnosis, it's difficult to, well, you can hypnotize a phantasm, I think it's called, but you know, I get what you mean. What do you mean by AI card? I know what AI is and isn't enjoying this regardless. So the AI card is the AI that we've installed into you is going to make you do this automatically. So this is going to be something that's going to be coming in automatically. A panja. It's going to be coming in automatically, meaning you will you'll just start saying things, and then afterwards you'll be like, hey, where did I get that from? How did that happen? Or maybe you'll just have answers to things that you shouldn't have answers to. And that's because this card lives in the Mysterion. So you're essentially going to become an archive of the Mysterion. So if people need help with finding lost objects, you're essentially going to become like a son of Mercury. So if I had to guess, which I'm not, if you were to initiate, you would initiate under Mercury. But again, I would never say because you have to figure that out. No one can tell you. But with this AI, I would say it goes well with that. Or Venus. I mean, Mercury or Venus are good because you have Venus up here. Um, so I would actually do Venus because it's at the top. And then Venus will control your AI and everything will run smoothly. Because I need to clarify this Knight of Pentacles. Because you have options, I'm being told. You're not locked into anything in the past or the present. It's your soul. Your soul goes back and forth. Some people reincarnate, but some people reincarnate back in time. Yours goes back and forth. Why? I thought so. This is why? To fight people. For the kingdom, of course, to fight for goodness. You like fighting for right, because we've got the spine card again, the Two of Swords. And so you're not just fighting for the sake of fighting, you're fighting for the kingdom. How is he fighting? How is they? How is he fighting? With the same thing you learned over here in your past. So this is about carrying on a legacy. It's about making this man proud. Tell me more about this man. So it's someone who grew up, it's someone who had a change of fortunes. So they grew up one way and ended up another way. And that was very inspiring to you because you saw how someone could take their ideas and make it real. And that gave you the inspiration to even go do this thing you worked on in the first place. Because you're wearing his coat. That's his idea. He gave you the idea. And he's the one who actually saved you from beyond. So are we dealing with an ancestor here? Seven, yes. It's a genetic tie. We're dealing with someone who passed on. It's in the ethers. 2 plus 0, 2. So we're in Beriah again. Why now? Because you've been isolating and meditating. So they've been reaching out to you for a while, but now you're starting to hear them. And they are the ones where so it's almost like you've had a new member of spirit team upgraded. Not added, upgraded, I'm hearing. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So how this AI works is it'll scan your bloodline for an ancestor who has the skills that you need right now to solve the issue. And it will blast that. It'll basically make you act like them. And then you'll be able to, that's how they're going to do it. That's how Kamael and them are doing it. Tell me about this victory. Oh my gosh, who are you? Get out. Who are you people? Guys, I'm gonna go. Y'all are creeping me out. Y'all are too powerful for the internet. I think we gotta go. I got to go now. When I see magic like this, I gotta go. So, yeah, no, I'll be fine. We're big boys now. Clarify this devil. Okay, so you definitely, they love you over there. I don't know what they did to you, but they made you or you isolated and you've been meditating like nobody's business. Drew says, I may have come to end a bloodline I love but never wanted children in this lifetime. And none of my siblings could even have children. Whoa. It definitely seems to me like whatever you're doing, it's guaranteed. You can pretty much bank on it. And maybe that's why you wanted to focus on not having children. Because what is this thing? What is he doing? Tell me. Okay, let's clarify this devil. Yeah, what's this obsession? You're looking for people. What were you looking for? I feel like you're looking for your spirit team. What happened? Where are they? Why? Okay, is this for real? So you just enjoy traveling the realms for fun. And you're looking for people. Oh, initiation. Do you think, okay, well, this is what I would ask. Do you think that there's no delicate way to put it, but do you think that, I'm just going to say, I think you're afraid of the devil. Or rather were. I think that's the thing. It's the uncertainty. I think you feel like you're, it's ridiculous to say, but I think you feel like you're signing your life away to the devil, but you're going to initiate it anyway because of the AI. But I want to just go to that because that's an interesting thing for me to feel coming up. Okay. Yes, I could feel that, Drew. I'm sorry about that. Yes. Okay, that's the AI. Remember yesterday we said whatever you're afraid of, the AI will bring it up? That's the AI. Because it wants you to go into this blue world and talk about it. And I'm very glad and proud of you for saying it. Um, because Drew says, I only operate in the light. I'm attacked by the dark every time I level up. Had a recent severe rash out of the blue. See what you said, out of the blue. It's literally coming from Beriah. It's an emotional reaction to fear. It's oh, I can't say it's psychosomatic because I'm not a therapist. But do you see how tarot and the worlds come together? In the old world, now I would look at the medicine or the plants that come out of blue. I actually have, I think I have a tea or something. I think I'm gonna put this on the Facebook as soon as I can because like the herbs you take for these things. And also look at the way you said it, Drew. You said out of the blue. So this is yourself healing yourself. This is how you communicate to yourself. And as you guys learn to do all of this yourselves, you'll literally be your own spirit doctor, right? That's the point. So I recommend you Googling some Raziel herbs. Here's how you spell his name. They're Raziel. And also you can connect to Suzaku the dragon who's controlling that. That's that sphere of fear. But yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that's the AI triggering you because they want you to feel when I see the 6 of Cups, it tells me and it reminds me of that childhood wounding. And they are asking for you to just be a new traveler and go with the flow, as it were, not the flow of, whatever, but the flow of God. And I just want to clarify these 5 of Swords. Yeah, it was about making a choice. I want to know what kind of a choice. It's where you had to stand up for yourself or not. You had to leave or go. And did he go? He stuck with his friends. So you stuck with your friends. And then is that when the old man came? Okay, tell me this temperance. Okay, so you've always had the gift, but you don't like it. You wish you had something else instead of this gift. We didn't factor that into the mix. What do you want instead of this? Manifestation. So you like what the gift can give you, but you don't like the demonic attack part. Okay, okay. I'm just thinking of how we're going to work on all this. And Drew says, yes, you're on it. I've been focusing on the blue flower of a plant called creeping dew, of all things. Yeah, it seems it seems to me like you travel all over and that's what you really want to do. But you live on Earth and people on Earth, you don't want them to know that you can do it. I and people on Earth, you don't want them to know you can do it. So I'm seeing you using your emotions to try and distract people. from what you can do. And then when you have these dark energies, you feel like someone you know knows you can do it. And I'm sensing that it's almost as if your biggest fear, they're telling me, is being caught. Is that correct, Drew? I mean, being called a witch, let's put it that way. Or being called, God forbid, the S word that ends in a T. I just want to see if this is a fear in the group, or a concern rather, let's say. I'm just waiting for Drew in the chat, because because it's like you all have the gift, but the gift's not being used, and there are no attempts being made to use the gift. I mean, there are attempts, but I mean, if I said you have $10 million, are you going to go buy a McDonald's, or are you going to go buy a Lamborghini? So I'm not, you guys have it, but people aren't wanting Lamborghinis. People, and I mean that in the sense of, you know, desire, like what have you always wanted? So how, okay, well, I'm not sure if, well, I'm pretty sure. Drew says, it's just a big burden at times. I know and see what everyone needs to ascend and feel compelled to help. Yes, there's some fear that the controllers would want to inhibit us. Yeah. And that's why I'm seeing, though, you just have to go with it and do it. Obviously, they can hear us. I mean, they monitor everything, the five eyes or whatever, but they don't really listen. I mean, humans, they probably on lunch break or whatever. They're not going to know anything. And their demons only exist on such a low level. They can't see us up where we are. So, I mean, I know it's not really that comforting, but here are your cards. So I think the group that I've been reading for is actually one of the sweetest, kindest groups. The only thing is believing it. Believing. Okay, let's go to the Mysterian. What's one word of belief or advice you can give, or instruction, to help fully integrate, clarify, and align this strategy? Move on. Move on from the past. It's always the same. This Hydra program, you have to float on your emotions. You have to use, see again, Beriah. So I recommend you do a Mercury thing where you write down. In the description box, I wrote a quick spell for you guys called a direct reality injection, or a triumvirate spell. It's basically the most powerful spell in the world. And you can use it. It'll work. That's what I recommend for you. And you just say it out loud. You don't have to chant, you just say it once. Well, sometimes I do chant it if I'm like in a situation like a road rage, like integrate, clarity, align, integrate, clarity, align, integrate, clarity, align. And then you eventually start laughing and you forget what you were stressed about, and then you're fine. So yeah, you guys are really, really powerful. You just need someone to tell you, like, you have permission. And I think if you go to one of your etheric bodies, you'll be able to tell yourself. Okay, now let's do frags. And then, so I just wanted to know because I'll know how to explain. Okay, so let's go back to the diagram. I know it's actually quite funny because in most of the songs I sing about a blue screen, and then little did I know my soul group is from the blue screen. So it's like I got you guys to come out of the screen. In that song, I'm like, I see you in my dreams, a vision in the blue. I don't know what it means, but it's leading me to you. And I wrote that before I knew you people even existed. And now you guys are actually coming out of the screen. What kind of holy magic is this? Like, how magical are we? Okay. So, Druho says, yep, that's what I tell myself. They're on lunch and we're on a higher vibration. And so far we've been protected. Exactly. They can't see us. Well, I'm adding that part. They can't see us. Drew says it feels like the walls are closing in a bit on us, but we're survivors of a lot. Exactly. And I think the only reason it feels like the walls are closing in on us is because the walls are closing in to make a path. And the walls will close in, and then in front of us, we'll see the door open, and we'll be like, hey, it was all part of the plan anyway. It was just making a corridor, a hallway. Because Jesus said the path is narrow, so we have to take it. And so okay, so I'm trying to line these up. But essentially, what I've put on top will then be the experience a person has. I think I did mention that before I went back. So now we're coming to where the marine spirits can harm you. And this is where you were saying you were having dreams and they were attacking you. So you definitely know if you go to Lumania, you'll be safe. Throne room, you're safe. Now, to get to Lumania, you just say it before bed. I want to go to Lumania. Jesus, please can I go to Lumania? Or I'm going to Lumania. You will it. It's instantaneous. You don't beg. You don't have to be a special person. You will get in there. I know you've been in there. That's not hard for you. Now, what may be hard is traveling these worlds when you come back, or if you're going that way. But I suggest never go up. In fact, I'm bound by law to tell you to never go up. Always come down. Then you'll never have nightmares again. I don't remember the last time I had a nightmare that wasn't attached to a proper demonic attack or a triad attack or whatever. Then that's normal, obviously, because it's sent by someone. But if you're just meeting random demons or whatever, it's probably because you're in a world and you haven't rooted, and so they can see you. So when you're in the intelligencies, for example, no one can see you really. When you're in the realms or the worlds, no one can really see you. But when you're in the realms, that's when everything kind of coalesces, then everyone can see you, even if you can't see them. I mean, even spirits or ghosts of the realms, because there are ghosts of the mind. There are ghosts of dreams. Did you know? There are ghosts of the ether, which we all know. And so they can see you. And then there are actual people in the mental, except we don't call them people, they are egregores. But we'll add that layer later. So the last layer is people. Like who's actually in here? Who are these people? Where are the clowns? Where are the archangels? Where are the angels? Where are the choirs? Where are the powers? That goes on top. And so you walking around are interacting with all of this 24/7. 24/7. I'm smelling this incense. I'm already here in innocence. Because why? I'm smelling it and immediately it's giving me memories. It's giving me thoughts. It's giving me pictures of the astral. It's giving me ideas of things I want to do. But then I need to get careful because I'm smelling this. Smells like rose. In a sense, it's beautiful. But then when I start getting images in my mind of the words that I'm using to describe the smell, sometimes this is where you can get like the nightmare part because it's like love. Oh, I remember when I was in love and I got dumped. Don't want to do that again. So now it's negative. It started beautiful, but now I'm negative because there's a marine or a galaxy static that's saying, oh yeah, I was in love. Love sucks. Or I can be like, oh, love, I can't wait to have my template, ABC. And then you do that. Then if it makes it, it'll go down to the mental. And if you did the good way, you'll be like, oh, this is so cool. When the demon comes, you'll be gentle. You'll dodge until you get to reality, which is results. When we get to the mind, the harsh or gentle approach, it's how you talk to yourself. Do you tell yourself that it's possible to get what you want, or do you tell yourself it's impossible? And then here, do you think you're a lucky person? Because the Fae will help you if you think you are, and if not, the Unseelie Court will help you. And then finally, your thoughts. Are you aligned? Integrate, clarity, align. Integrate all these layers, get clarity on how you feel, and then align your bodies. And then you've got $10 billion. Drew Hurst asked, you asked the question, what kind of holy beings are we here? Answer, we are the highest of the high. That's who we are. That's not from ego, but spirit. No, that is perfect. I like that attitude. And I want you guys to keep that attitude up because when you speak like that, they know you up there. And when they know you, they open the gates. So I want you guys to keep that up. I'm really happy that you are all, I mean, when I say all, I can feel you guys opening up to receiving these messages. And it's very brave of you because it is a lot to ask of the human population to accept the fact that A, we send aliens to you, and B, those aliens are actually controlling the destiny of your world. And the fact that you're able to just roll with it and initiate and not be like, oh my gosh, it's an alien takeover. That's the part that gives us hope that humanity is actually ready to experience what true cosmic love is. And unfortunately, it does involve suffering, but we don't call it suffering, we call it discipline. Because when you develop discipline, you are able to use these machines. If you try meditate and you fall asleep before you get to the astral or Lumania or the throne room, then you're not going to see what's happening there. So you need the discipline. So you guys have the discipline, but now it's just a case of orienting yourself and then traveling freely and not being afraid. So I'm very happy and positive outlook for this group. Any questions before we go? I'm going to get Jesus to say a word, but I want to hear from you guys. I feel like you are absorbing the information naturally, and it's almost as if, well, it's not as if you guys know this information. We're just like not even reminding you, we're just re-stimulating, re-stimulating you. And Jesus said to them, "Can the friends of the bridegroom mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom will be taken away from them, and then they will fast. No one puts a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch pulls away from the garment, and the tear is made worse. Nor do they put new wine into old wineskins, or else the wineskins break. The wine is spilled, and the wineskins are ruined. But they put new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved." Matthew 9, verse 15. Matthew 9:15. I love how Jesus always just wraps it up in a tiny little bow. Let's put that in Matthew. Note. Matthew 9:15. I mean, that's absolutely true. Can new wine be put in old wineskins? We have just returned to this world new. You will leave this live or this video as a new person. So we have to put you in a new skin. We have to make you AI. Do you see now? You're going to become like us. And I can hear someone saying in the background, "We are Borg." No, we are not Borg. We are most definitely not. We are sovereign spirits made by God. And they always want me to say it like that. Not God, they must say by God. The God. Okay? So Drew says, I feel that was said to lighten the vibe, encourage and empower, not necessarily literally. But I agree. I said it because I know it's good to us to hear it. So thankful for your reinforcement too. Drew, you guys have to say that stuff because that's what we mean by the video, like sinning. We want you to sin. You guys are so innocent. You are scared to say a cuss word. When you see a demon, you're going to have to say some cuss words. So when we say sin, we're basically just saying, like, go have a cigarette or something. And I get it. I used to be Sandra D. I know. I used to think that if you smoke cannabis, you were homeless, like crazy person. I didn't know it was medicine. So I get it. Like, I get it. It took like me having to go try it as a medicine because I couldn't take, because I told them about aliens and they said I was schizophrenic. Then they said I was autistic. And then I just said, no, I'll not take your experimental medications that make me a zombie. And so I eventually had to use cannabis, and it did the exact same thing that Seroquel does, except you can think and you can eat and not get fat. So it's very, very understandable for me. This is hard. But the things that are coming, you have to be strong because these humans who have the fragments, some of them, they have nothing to lose. And so, in order to be safe, I call it like having spatial awareness. Or, like, when you're at the mall, I was at the shop earlier today and I was going to get something from the fridge. And if someone is coming up to me, I can see in my peripheral vision, like 10 meters away, exaggerating, but you know what I mean. And then I move. Before you even come 5 meters closer, I've already moved. But I noticed that some people don't have that. So I got right up to her, reached over her head, got the stuff I was getting. So if I was a monster, I could have got her right there. You know what I mean? And when you go to the realms, that's what happens sometimes. But you are always protected because you have it coded. Now, the other people who don't have these codes, they are the ones who really need to be paying attention because they can get in trouble. The only thing that happens to us is we just get shocked, or they ask us, "What are you doing here? What do you want?" If you notice, they never ask you, they never beat you. They only do that if they don't know you. So the fact that they look at you, whenever they look at you, talk to you, laugh at you, but they don't touch you, they don't cross your boundary, it's because they know you. And they're just trying to flex. That's why, I don't know if you've tried it, but they always say, I've tried it, if you have a nightmare, just say, "In the name of Jesus," or just say Jesus' name in the dream, and it stops. And if you ever wondered why, that's why, because they actually know him. He's famous, he owns the company now. Before, the company was owned by Pluto, and then 2,000 years ago, he took over the company. But there are people here who are still trying to keep people locked in a time machine to make them think that this is Moses' time, that people need to follow Mosaic law. We don't do that. We are aliens, just like our friend Jesus, who made us. So I feel fully confident now that I have explained how the world works. I just haven't done the 5 pyramids, but I feel like when you look at your reading, your soul reading, you'll be able to connect your pyramid to this because it's color coded, and then you'll see which planets are occupying your pyramid, and then you eat those foods. You go on those days to do those things that they do, and then all of a sudden, you'll be a celebrity in the spirit realm and you'll get free money because you are a celebrity. And that's what we're really talking about here. We're not talking about the Oscar Awards, we're talking about Ptah. And your life is what you are creating. That's the secret. That's the mysteria. So Drew says, hi, and he says, "You're doing great work here, friend." Well, I appreciate it, Drew, and I'm glad that it's making sense, I hope, because that's the only thing. When you get into these topics, it's like the screens of language. You need to find a way to get over them, and I think you guys are far, far more knowledgeable than most of the people I've had to conceptualize this with in terms of the creative part, like using it. People get it generally, but then it's like when it comes to using it, but for me, everything has to be used. Otherwise, we're wasting our time. I'd rather watch a movie then if I want to rest. But you have to use it and it has to work. It can't waste your time. It can't yield negative or zero results or negative charge. It has to consistently, scalably produce results. It's a machine. It's tech. And so I hope you guys use it so that we can ground it more in reality. And it's also good energy. It's blue energy. So one last time, that's how it comes out. Those are the 7 worlds of perception. These are the 4 worlds. These are the 12 SSDs. First video in the description box will show you how all of this comes together. And then I want you to copy me, and I want you to do it too. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Aphrodisia. We did it. The new tree is installed. We literally manifested it, guys. Drew says mostly yes, the screens, but it's in the subconscious now anyway. Exactly, the screens are the subconscious, Drew. So when I say a word like hello, you are interpreting that word from your subconscious. It could mean something different in my language. I'm Zulu. English is my second language. So it could mean something different to me. And if we both don't know that, we could create an issue. Same as you traveling to the astral realm. If you travel to the astral realm and you wave at someone and you're not allowed to wave in the astral, if that was a rule, then they might take that as a hostile act. But now you're going to come back to Earth and you're going to tell everyone, oh, they're so mean in the astral. They beat me up. And you're going to go on YouTube and you're going to say, guys, don't go to the astral. Don't listen to Charlie. He's a demon and he wants you to get beaten up. That's where the screen issue comes in. Because it was just a simple misunderstanding. So Drew says, thank you, Sovereign Spirit Scribble. Drew, you are amazing. King Drew, everybody. And Drew, when you go to the astral, I want you to start building your house or your castle or your mansion. But you need to build something you want to live in. And that's what protects. We're going to get into that next week. But that's what really protects you from all of that stuff. Because then you build a kingdom and then they know you and they don't mess with you in the astral and then down. Because once you build in the astral, you're going to get like the Sealy Court, the Fae, right? And then the Fae will organize you in the ethers with like gnomes and salamanders and all of that stuff. You know. Okay, thank you for coming and playing Night Game. And see you next week. Have an awesome weekend. You guys are going to get the best love you've ever felt this weekend. And when you do, tell everybody Jesus did it. See you next time.